Okay, so welcome to Tiny Grimes Games. Today I'm fortunate enough to talk to the CEO and lead designer of Dragon Foundry, the maker of Nova Blitz. Nova Blitz is a TCG currently undergoing a Kickstarter campaign that has had a great start. And by TCG, I should say digital TCG. So welcome to the show, Paul. It's good to have you.
Hi, good to be here.
All right, so I got a couple questions for you today. Most importantly, I think this is the question that everyone has for every new digital TCG. So what makes your game different in this quickly becoming oversaturated market? Why should someone buy this game? We have all these games already. Elder Scrolls is coming out in the fall. Hearthstone is this behemoth lurking around, squashing everyone in its path. Why should people get this game?
I think that you should get this game because it is more fast and more fun. We've really ramped up the speed of gameplay, really taken out all the sitting around and waiting for other people. So we've got real-time simultaneous play. The other thing is we've got a fairly unique combat system. Because we're simultaneous play, both people play at the same time, and both people put their combat orders in at the same time. So you don't know exactly what your opponent's going to do, whether they're going to block you, whether they're going to attack. And the more you can do to predict what they're going to do, the better your chances are of winning. So there's a lot of skill in predicting your opponent's plays, reacting to them at the right time, and being able to outthink them and out-trick them.
Yeah, I can say I've played the game a number of times myself, and it's so funny because they'll have a guy that's clearly a supporting guy, right? And they're not going to attack with him. It would be lunacy to attack with them. And I say, well,
absolutely crazy.
Right, I don't have to block this guy. And then sure enough, boop, forward to my face. And I'm sitting there going, are you insane? Why did you attack with him?
Because they knew you weren't going to block.
Yeah, so I agree. That bluffing mechanic is a lot of fun trying to figure out, get into your opponent's head. And it leads to some really funny moments where you're just irate with your opponent. How dare they outthink you in that spot? I have a question about the pace of the game. So when I first played the demo, the pace was so frenetic, I could barely keep up. But it really had my heart pumping, but it was a bit, maybe too much. Today I would describe the pace more as quite brisk. It's a quick game, but it doesn't have, it's not overwhelming. But so my question is, are you guys considering having different speeds at all as a choice down the road where you can say, you know what, I'm feeling nuts today. I want the pace to be so fast that I can't even think. It has to be. Any thoughts about that?
I think we will offer that down the road. Certainly not at launch. We want to keep everybody in one ecosystem while we're ramping up. But if we look at, talking of Hearthstone again, looking at what they've done with their Town Brawl, I think doing things like that would be an awesome way to keep some more interest in different types of gameplay. We can do the 5-second turn version for a little while, give people a taste of it. Some people will like it, some people won't like it. So it'll let people play the way they want to play.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. You can't split your customer base too early, but I think it's interesting. Tavern Brawl has certainly set up a good precedent for all games to look at that and say, like, yeah, we can do crazy things here and there. It can be fun. Some people are going to hate them. That's fine. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think really they basically stole that from SoulForge, if I'm right.
I would agree. There's people in the SoulForge community who have said things like, why isn't Stoneblade suing Blizzard? And my response is usually, I really wouldn't want to sue Blizzard. That seems like a bad idea.
Also, you can't sue for stealing an idea. Ideas are free.
That's a good point. All right, so I think a question that a lot of people have who are looking to join any of these games is, a lot of games have the free-to-play label. Do you consider your game free-to-play? And if you do, could you elaborate a bit on how is your game going to be free-to-play? Is it going to be free to experience the game? Is it going to be free to have all the cards within 3 days of downloading the game? What are you guys envisioning?
So we're envisioning it's free to try out. Try it, see if you like it. If you do like it, then you'll probably want to start paying. The big things that we have to pay for is obviously drafts. Drafts are a big part of any game. And the way we set up our drafts is that you keep the cards at the end of the draft. So those are for pay. Obviously, drafting is super fun. We're selling booster packs as well, so it's a fairly normal model for games. You'll be able to earn cards free slowly. If you really want to ramp up your collection, then you'll want to buy cards.
Okay, fair enough. And what kind of pricing are you looking at? Are you trying to model off of more of a Magic pricing where you go something like
Oh God, no.
$350
No.
for no cards? That seems reasonable.
So starting off with free and enough cards to have five decks to start with. We want to give you enough to experience the game, be able to do some deck building right then and there. And then when we're talking about booster packs, we're talking the price for a single pack in-game currency is right around $2. But if you're buying multiple packs, that price drops a lot. And also, if you're getting your packs through drafts or through constructed, the price for a pack is a lot closer to $1 a pack. And these are 15 card packs.
Ooh, 15 card packs. I like that. How is it? But is it like 14 and a half commons and one mid-range card?
The rarity distribution is pretty close to the Magic standard, except we're a little more free with some of the rarer cards.
Okay.
So it's a friendly rarity distribution.
Okay. I have to admit, one of the things that's drawn me most of this game is the Smart Pack. I love that idea that you can join a tournament, you can do well, and you get to choose what set you want your pack from. I think it's held a lot of other games back. People get to a point where a random pack doesn't do them any good anymore. How'd you come up with that? It seems like such a good idea. I'm surprised others haven't.
We looked at the economy of a lot of other games and said, this is something that we hate. We hate like having to manage it on our end, and we hate having to interact with a bunch of different packs at a bunch of different prices and getting the wrong prizes out of an event. So we basically sat back and looked at it and said, we can just look at it the opposite way around, where you just have packs, and then when you open the pack, you choose what you get. So it's good for tournament prizes. It's also good if you want to buy a bulk packs so you can get the discount. You can buy 100 packs and then split that up any way you want between sets.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
will they have future cards so you could buy a pack today and then open it 9 months from now and get the new cards in that pack?
Yep. And that's true for the Kickstarter reward packs as well. Like if you get packs on the Kickstarter rewards, you can wait to open them until set 2, set 3, set 25, and they'll have whatever cards are in the store at that time.
How's set 25 looking, by the way? You guys almost done with that?
We don't quite have that finished yet.
Okay, that's good. That would be a little worrisome if you did. Actually, that causes a question that I hadn't been prepared to talk about. But are you able to use these packs that you're getting from Kickstarter to enter drafts?
Yes.
Ooh, I like that too. Okay, so you get a lot of flexibility then from basically packs are a flexible currency.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
All right, that seems like a really promising way to do this. All right, speaking of rarities, how many levels of rarities are you going to have?
We're going to have 4 levels of rarity.
Okay. And how rare is the rarest going to be?
That's always a hard question to ask because a lot of the free cards that will come out will be the less rare cards. So the balance might be a little different depending on whether you're a free player or a paid player. We're looking at something like 1 in 5 to 1 in 8 packs will have one of the most rare cards in it.
Okay, that's not too bad. What are you guys going to do about economy, trading? Are you going to be able to get on eBay and sell your cards? What exactly is your approach going to be to this?
Um, eBay is always a tough one.
That's for
Um,
sure.
there's a lot of legal issues with doing it. Um, one area that we can integrate is we can integrate the Steam item trading marketplace. Um,
Hmm.
we're planning on doing that for some of our tournament prizes. We'll see whether it makes sense to also integrate that for um, other cards. We're definitely planning on a trading system, which is it's going to be a marketplace driven trading system.
Okay.
So you can post a trade, other people can accept the trade.
It sounds really promising to me to do something with Steam Marketplace. That way, I know one of the big concerns a lot of the games have, like Hearthstone, SoulForge is in this boat as well at this particular moment, is investing a lot of money into a game and then not really having a way to get that money out. It's just locked into that game. Um,
Yeah, this is kind of the conundrum that free to play games have. You can go the Hearthstone's kind of on one end of it. SoftWatch is in the middle somewhere, where you're giving away a fair amount of cards, and that actually makes it hard to add the rest of the economy on top. And
sure.
Hearthstone doesn't have any trading, so and they did that because they're aiming for all the casual players in the world, and they captured 95% of the casual players in the world.
They sure did, didn't they?
So they've definitely made the right choice. But yeah, there's no way of getting money out of Hearthstone, and there never will be. They can't add that in at this stage with it because they've got the crafting system and everything else that they put together.
Sure. All right.
Um,
So this is actually a trading card game.
yes, that is the design that we wanted from the start was make a proper trading card game with a proper economy, and really give players a lot more control of their game.
That is one of the things that I've noticed from your Kickstarter campaign, that you've talked a lot about um, your interest in working with the community. And you seem like with the smart packs and the way you're just talking now, you seem to have this interest in really working with the community rather than sort of from on high saying, this is how the game is going to work. How do you envision that working? Do you think you're going to get a community together that you can work with? How's that going to work out?
I think I think it'll just happen. Like the trading card game community and strategy game communities in general tend to be very passionate about the games they play. So all we have to do is give the community the opportunity to engage, and the community will build itself.
Okay, I have
So
noticed that to be true as well, and it looks like you're open even to community members that they have really cool card ideas, even going as far as implementing those.
oh, we're encouraging that. We want like we're looking at this like we've got a vision for the game. We've got a grand vision for a trading card game that's really quick to play. It's really fun. It's it's accessible to a card gamer. But at that point, then we're the people building the game. Like we don't really own the idea of the game. Like that's going to be by the community as a whole. Everybody in the community is playing the game. The community is putting hundreds of thousands of times more time into this game than we're putting a lot of time in to build it. But when you multiply that by everybody playing it, that's
Right.
where all the time is spent. So that's where our focus really is making sure that the community is getting what they want, how they want it.
Hmm. Is this as sensible as that sounds? And it sounds very sensible. It also sounds really revolutionary at the same time. I don't hear. I hear sometimes people say things like that, but not quite as aggressively as you guys seem to be pushing that. That yes, we really are trying to make this our group game, and we're running it, and we're doing playtesting, we're designing stuff. But when you have cool ideas, we're happy to hear them. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm going to probably invite you back sometime. Hopefully this interview isn't too rude, and we can maybe design a card with the stream. I don't know, that
Hell
could be
yeah,
fun.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure the people here today are quite ready to do that, but this is a motivator. Go get Nova Blitz. Check out the cards. You can help us make a card right on stream. We can make
Yeah,
something
well,
totally broken that Paul can never use in his game. It'd be great.
well, the good thing about a totally broken card is you make it cost 20, and it's not broken anymore.
You just get it out with teleport then. Boom, problem solved. No problem.
The trick with card design is less about whether a card is broken and more about whether a card is fun.
Yes, okay. I
Because
agree with that.
you can make a card that's totally balanced and doesn't really break the game at all, but is so unfun that no one wants to play against it ever, and it makes the game a horrible experience. You
Yeah.
can have a card that's totally unbalanced, it's totally overpowered, but everybody loves it when it's played. Like those are the cards that we want to aim for, and then we can tweak the balance on them.
Okay, so basically design cool, innovative, fun cards that don't break the game.
Yeah, they can break the game. We just have to acknowledge that and cost for it, or
Sure.
filter that out as we're developing.
Okay. So I noticed I was looking at your Kickstarter page. It's doing pretty well. It looks to me like you're
Yeah.
going to make it. But I do have a question for you. Everyone loves stretch goals. Where are the stretch
Yep.
goals, man? Can I visit your house if I pledge $10 million? I mean, what's the deal here?
If you pledge $10 million, you can definitely. I will cook you dinner, and I'm a pretty good cook.
Wow. If I had $10 million, I might do that. But maybe one of the people in my stream does. So.
Yeah,
But are you guys?
that offer is open
guys,
to anybody, anytime. I will cook you dinner for $10 million.
are you planning on stretch goals, or is it something that you guys have just decided not to do that?
We are definitely planning on stretch goals. We wanted to focus on the initial target first, but we've got stretch goals planned. They're a mix of more stuff, because people like stuff, as it turns out.
Oh yeah.
So building on the various different pledge tiers, and on top of that, some more features that we want to implement.
Okay. Are you planning? I haven't seen any hints of this. Are you planning on expanding the game in any other directions? Having some sort of single-player campaign mode or a 2v2 mode, or are you currently just thinking, listen, let's just get a really badass game here, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah. Step one is make an awesome game. We did that. Step two is get a bunch of people playing a really awesome game. That's what we're doing right now. Step three is expand that in ways that the community wants it to be expanded. So if we have a lot of demand for a single player campaign, we prioritize that a little higher than something like a more deep tournament series. So we'll see what the community really wants. There'll be surveys going on. There'll be chats and questions, more streams like this where we can get questions and answer questions. And we'll really find out what the players want and put that in.
Okay. I've noticed right now there's not any ways to chat with people, and most people want to be able to say horrible things to their opponents after or during a game. So are we going to be able to do that?
So during a game, no, not right now at least. The gameplay is a little fast for that. We might put that in for some types of gameplay. For example, we're working on a friend mode play at the moment. So you can challenge your friends to a game directly. So with that, we probably will consider adding in-game chat. But for most actual in-games, no. We tend to find there's a fairly toxic environment around in-game chats in a lot of games. It happens.
Yeah.
What we are adding in, because we need it to build the friend play, is we're building in a lobby chat system.
Okay.
So you can chat with your friends and organize games, and then challenge them to come and try and defeat you with something awesome and crazy.
That seems reasonable. I will say this. I think if you're going to have in-game emotes, one has to be like, nice top deck, you lucky SOB, or something like that. So, Hearts don't really miss the boat on that one. Although I think that's what well played is supposed to mean.
I think that was not what they intended it to mean, but it's certainly become what it means now.
Yeah, I think that's it's really interesting how they're like, it's a casual game. People are just gonna have fun with it. Look, all these nice emotes, and people are like, all right, let's see, what terrible thing do we assign to each of these supposedly nice emotes?
Yeah,
So I think your point is well taken. That no matter how you arrange chat in game, there's always the possibility that it becomes incredibly toxic.
yeah. I think Hearthstone's done a good job of keeping it non-toxic, because if you don't understand what it means, then it just it feels fine still.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
As long as you're oblivious, you're fine.
yeah, which is what you really want for like if the 95% of people who are good players and friendly people
Yeah.
don't experience negativity, that's a win.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, it's easy to just turn them off if they do bother you, so it's not a
Yeah,
problem.
that is true too.
So I'd say this. A lot of the cards that I've looked at have been fairly straightforward. You know, a guy, he's got stats, he's got armor, he can fly. There have been a couple kind of crazy cards. But I'm wondering, is this something intentional that you're doing right now because it's the base set? Or are these just the first batch of cards, and even for set one, there's going to be some really crazy stuff that happens?
So it's intentional right now because people are just learning the game. So we wanted to keep the complexity down a little bit right now. It's also, we've only coded 60% of the rules engine. So there's more mechanics that we are planning on coding that will give us a lot more design space to build crazier and crazier cards.
Okay.
Like if you look at the cards right now, we don't have any activated abilities. We don't have any abilities that carry on for and happen at the end of the turn, or we don't have a lot of super complex static abilities yet. But those are the abilities that we've got on our design backlog to build. So when people have cool card ideas of, hey, can we do this crazy thing? We can look at it and say, we can't do it now, but if we added 3 things from the design backlog and got them done, then that card starts to work.
Gotcha. Having said that, there's a lot of basic cards. I put up a card on stream. I gotta say, Tectonic Shift has me really intrigued that I can remove all the resources from my deck and just get guys and spells, and it replaces itself. That's a card I want to build
just
around.
replace itself. The interesting thing with that card is it replaces itself, and you know you're getting something useful.
Darn right you are. Unless you get another Tectonic Shift. That would be a little bit
That replaced itself.
Yeah, that's true. You just keep playing it. Yeah, I haven't built a deck to exploit that yet, but I look at that card and immediately my brain starts going, ooh, there's got to be something here. So I want to ask you though, what's your favorite card of the set so far?
Oh, I really like the Urkham Jin.
What was it?
Urkham Jin.
Urkin. How do you spell Urkin Jin?
IRKHAM.
Okay, there he is. Oh, jeez, yeah. I kind of hate that guy because my opponents always have him. Yeah, that's
I like him just because he does something very different.
Yeah, he sure does. And what's interesting is because of the frenetic pace of the game, I had someone play it against me, and I didn't really realize it because it happened really quick. And then just boom, they played a giant card on turn 5 or whatever, and I looked at it and said, what? How did he do this? And I'm scanning his board, and I come across this guy and say, oh, this little bastard, he has to die. He's not hanging around for 2 turns. No way.
Yep. Yeah, you can't let him live, or they're just going to start to steamroll you.
And one of the really interesting things about your game is that there's a lot of times where you don't have a choice because we haven't really looked at the game itself yet, which we will in a minute. But with the way the combat works, you can attack, you can block, or you can not attack or block. And you're not choosing the person you are attacking. You're just attacking their face, and then they insert blockers. So you could theoretically have your Urkham Jin last forever unless they draw a removal spell.
Yep, but then again, like he's a 5/5 body, so if you're not putting him in combat, then you're wasting his full potential.
Exactly. But I just think it's a really interesting mechanic of the game that support cards can live, you have that choice. Do I want to take the chance? Do I want to try to attack with him? Do I want to just have him relax here and do his support role? I really like the flexibility that gives you.
Yeah, that was definitely a by design thing. It wasn't in the original design. Originally, we had the ability to attack other people's units, and what we were finding was it just became too predictable.
Yeah.
And switching this combat system, we've all just loved how it plays.
Yeah, I think with the other combat system you just described, then the game becomes much more like Hearthstone, right? It's just like this grindy, you just kind of slowly grind out board advantage and then win. Whereas here it's much more, I don't actually know what's going to happen. I think I figured out what my opponent's thinking, but it turns out I have no idea what my opponent's thinking. I think he might be a madman.
So sometimes being a madman can do very, very good things for you.
I think, this is going to sound crazy, I think you could actually be somewhat successful randomly choosing. Just to completely throw your opponent off base. You just flip a coin every time.
Sometimes.
Be kind of fun. All right. This is a question that's near and dear to my heart. I'm always looking to be a competitive player that I can sink a lot of time into a game and really fall in love with it. So how are you envisioning targeting this game towards me, the competitive player? Are you going to have a ladder? Are you going to have major tournaments that funnel into some sort of world championship cycle? What do you have in mind? I know it's really early to ask a question like that, but it's just burning inside of me. I have to ask it.
So one of the things we got planned is tournament series. So you've got the basic pickup drafts and constructors, and those are all on the totally play on demand. You just play it whenever you want to play it. You can, even for drafting, it's just you hit start and the server handles sending you packs from the player that's passing to you. You don't have to wait at all, and you can take time over your draft picks. One of the things we're really doing on the tournament side of things is, yes, there's qualifiers for bigger tournaments in the works. We've also got a monthly ranking system. It works a little bit like a ladder, but it's a little different because we're doing it on a point accumulation basis. So you play casual games, you'll gain some points up to a cap. You play drafts, and your best 5 drafts every month count. So if you have a 5-win finish, an 8-win finish, and a 20-win finish, you'll get points for all of those. If you draft 10 times in a month, just the top 5 count. So it means that you're not being forced to grind and grind and grind to get to the top of the monthly rankings. And the other thing we're doing is that ranking is also part of the matchmaking rating. So you'll see the rank that you got to, and you'll be matched with players that have achieved that rank in general. So if you're a rank 20 player, you'll be in general matched with people who are around that same rank. We don't have the you falling back down to rank 0 for matchmaking, even though everybody starts with 0 every month.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then
so obviously I don't get to beat up on terrible players at the beginning of every month. What? That's all my joy. All right, that sounds fair.
You can, if you enter a draft or a tournament, those matches are all based on your results in that event.
Okay.
So if you're playing tournaments, it's a totally level playing field, and you might be playing against someone who's way better than you. You might be playing against someone who's way worse than you, but you're level because you're all entering the same type of event.
All right. Can I get you to elaborate a little bit on the draft? I'm a bit confused on that. So someone's passing you a pack, but you have all the time to choose, and does that hold up the rest of the draft, or how is that working?
So the draft, like imagine a regular draft where you're sitting around a table in 3 dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 4-dimensional draft.
Okay.
So people are passing you packs through time. So the person who's passing to you has already finished their drafting.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then those packs funnel to you by the server as you do your draft. And then once you're finished, the server bundles up those packs and then hands them to the next person to come along and draft.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. So you can't really hate draft against people, but at the same time, it takes away the waiting extensively that would happen in that kind of draft format.
Yeah, and it gives you a draft it's real people drafting. So it's not an algorithm that's giving you cards like in Hearthstone.
Mm.
It's you're getting packs from real people. So if one particular aspect is too powerful in that particular draft, more people draft it, you get less cards that aspect. So everything balances out in the draft.
That's an interesting way to balance it out. I think I like that a lot. I'm not a giant draft fan myself. I'm going to admit that to you, but this one sounds pretty intriguing. All right, so I'm going to ask you one last question, then hopefully we'll have time for one quick game. But for unique games like this, it can be really hard to know when you have something good and something great or something new and not very good. How did you know that what you had here was something that was going to fit into the great category?
We started playing it and started loving it, and we started watching people play it and watching people talk about it, and we realized that we had something that was great gameplay.
Okay.
And we still get complaints of, oh, this is destroying my productivity because I'm playing all the time.
You should really stop making the game then, if that's the case. You don't want to wreck people's lives, Paul. Come on, man. All right. Well, why don't we play a quick game? I think we should have time for one game. I know you actually have real world work to do here. You got to get this game out the door. You can't just chat with me all day. So I'm gonna play a deck. I'm gonna go into the queue. Paul, I gotta warn you. Well, the deck's probably bad. I was gonna talk a lot of smack to you, but you probably have a way better deck than I do. So I'm not gonna do that. See if any of my viewers here have any questions. Avoiding any dialogue buttons that say yes, no, or okay. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about this game. There's not a lot of passing or dialogue buttons. Are you in the queue, Paul?
I am about to get. Let's see
okay.
what
No.
play. Let's play this guy. I'm in the queue.
All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, the no dialogue buttons and no passing is by design.
I like that a lot.
because we've got a fast-paced game, we really wanted to make sure that the gameplay was smooth. I think that's a complaint of a lot of other games, is their gameplay tends to be not quite as smooth as it could be. Either they haven't thought everything through, or they've made design choices that aren't necessarily perfect.
Mm-hmm. Man, I tried to wait, but I had to put him in before the first half went away, and you still got him.
I did.
Jeez, come on, man.
See what happens.
Huh. So you're going to build up armor just from me playing things? That doesn't seem fair.
You could not play anything.
You know what? I'm going to take that strategy. I am never playing anything in this game. You know what? I lied to you. I will play things.
That guy's a good option to play. I will not lie there. He's a powerful one.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Okay.
What we're facing.
That armor guy's gonna be a real problem.
Could be.
I waited too long, Paul.
Oh no.
I thought too much. The pace got me. I can't attack.
Oh, I can. Or I could block.
So I'm definitely not blocking. I mean, I'm not attacking with maggots. You just know that to be the case. So you don't have to worry, Paul.
I am pretty sure.
I couldn't trick you. I tried really hard.
Let's get some more armor out there.
Oh my goodness. All right. That's okay. Got you right where I want you. I want to take a lot of damage, get you overconfident.
Let's do some more damage, I think. I'm going to just tell you I'm going to attack. So if you want to attack with the mages, that's totally fine.
Oh, okay. Cool. I think I will then. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. You are good. I thought maybe that was an elaborate trick. I did not like the stunning.
I'm liking the armor over the Dequanimus's 2 damage here.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of deal. Oh, you got a lot of guys out there.
I got blockers now.
Let's get some more blockers in, and well, the Tomb Dweller is really not a threat.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get to hit you. He's gonna
I
look at you.
You've got a lot of airborne here, though.
Wow, that shockwave tank is really strong.
It's a powerful one.
Let's see how we're gonna handle him. We are not. That's the answer. We're absolutely not going to handle him.
Oh, I could have attacked with a shield force.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Let's see here. What do we need to do? I think we need to do that.
I think we will.
No, don't destroy him. He was your friend.
He was my friend.
Then you had a falling out. Oh boy. All right.
I guess I can't block anybody.
Yeah, at least you don't have to make choices. You're welcome for that.
But I can smash you in. The regenerator. Well played there. Let's kill him.
No.
That 1 damage was enough.
Oh no, I lost. I hit pass instead of just waiting. It was a huge blunder.
You gonna do anything bad to me?
All right, I'm fine. I got it. Okay, I might not have
gotcha.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
That was close.
Nova Blitz.
The aggro almost outraced the mid-range there.
Well, good game, Paul. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking about your game. Really appreciate it.
It was fun.
It looks like a fun game, and hopefully I'll have you soon again during this campaign, and we can make a card together.
Yeah, I'd love that. Don't forget we're on Kickstarter right now, and there's a ton of good rewards out there.
Yeah, the tiers look really packed. I did $50 myself. If I was independently wealthy, I probably would have done a higher tier, but you know, can only do what a man can do.
Yep, that you got to go within your budget.
All right. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
All right.